Welcome to a new day in Empyrion Galactic Survival, and in this part what I want to do is get out and build a basic hover vehicle so that we can explore the planet, because my main objective at the moment is to find promethium, because I certainly don't want to have to power the base if I decide to build one, or the hover vehicle and eventually the SV using biofuel. But before that, I want to talk about a couple of things. The first thing is based on a comment from Draku. He pointed out quite rightly that what I could do is change this base to private and effectively take it over and use it as an operational base. The downside of that is I'm a bit worried about whether that's going to attract the Xerax at the point where I'm still a little bit vulnerable. So I'm in no rush to switch this base on, because technically I don't need it at the moment. Plus, this, as I've previously said, is because I don't have promethium. Powering this up and trying to run it with biofuel is a bit of a pain in the neck. I mean it does have a solar panel power as far as I know. It's getting 14 PU. There must be some solar panels on the roof, so there is a bit of power coming into it. But in some ways, I'd rather conserve that power for the moment and use it for other purposes should I need it. Got some insects hanging around as well, which are a pain in the neck. But as I say, what I want to do in this part is actually build a hover vehicle and get mobile. Now, what I've been doing off camera is I went and mined some resources from here. You can see I've got 20% of resources from iron and copper. I've mined out all the silicon, so we're going to have to find some more silicon. And then what I've actually done through the night is made all the components necessary to make a hover vehicle, or a very basic hover vehicle. You can see I've got the starter kit, the cockpits, a few blocks. We've got a couple of cargo boxes which we're going to need, the 4 hover engines, the fuel tank, the generator, and we've got 8 thrusters, because you need 2 thrusters in each of the 4 directions. If you imagine forward, back, left, right. And then we've got a couple of RCSs because we're using these hover engine kits, and we've actually using the we've also made a small constructor and an armor locker. Now, the one item that's missing from that is actually the fridge, and the reason for that is if I come into here, you will see that although I've unlocked the fridge, you actually need the small constructor. So in order to make the fridge, I've actually got to build the hover vehicle, and then we'll be able to put the fridge on it. And this is very much going to be my strategy, because what I want to do is get to a warp capable small vessel as quickly as possible. Then we're going to be leaving this planet, so effectively this planet is just going to provide me the initial assets to get started, and then we will be leaving with a small vessel. And from that perspective, I will probably be building one from the workshop, simply because one of the problems with building an SV is that if you build it from scratch, you often have to build a base. And I'm trying to avoid actually building a base. I can hear an insect hanging around. And at the moment, the options could be going for the Nightshade Mark 3, but I also like this Loot Lifter 300. I think it's from somebody called Crazies, and it's quite a good ship. It doesn't have a lot of weapons on it, but it does have a lot of lift capacity, which is what I may actually want. Right, I think before we can build this hover vehicle, let's just go on a insect patrol, because there's definitely one hanging around here somewhere. And during the night, I actually had to put down 2 attacks from insects. I can't see them. Ah, there he is. Go away. Go around behind him. Oops, should have reloaded. There's the stun attack, but that stun attack can be quite heavy. It's not a problem though, simply because my food at the moment is perishing a little bit. So, I've only got 11 left on the berries. So, anyway, let's get down to doing some building. And of course, the first thing we're going to need is the starter kit and the cockpit. Trying to find a little bit of level ground here. I think maybe just about here will do. And of course, question is, do I go big and chunky, or do This is the one bit I always hate. Because of course I haven't actually got a multi-tool. So placing this, if I get this wrong, it's going to be a little bit of a pain in the neck. Well, maybe if I go for something a bit along the lines of what I normally build. That is, I think that would be it. And I've built a little bit of a platform out here. Right, so we've got the basics. And of course I've got a bit of a logistics problem from the point of view of what I can and can't carry. I think we're just put the fuel tank. Yeah, we've got. I want to get these 3 components in straight away. We'll put the constructor down the center, like that. Now we're probably going to have this area here exposed, so I've got some blocks on my. I mean, I'm not planning on picking any fights, but I do want a little bit of protection. If we come out like that, there and there, and then what we will do is just drop a fuel tank there, generator there, and then just going to come back 1, 2. I say it's going to be a little bit of a case of being a bit of a botch fix, but it should do the job. As I say, I'm not going to be really picking any major fights with this. This is just very much going to be a survival type. Get out and explore. So we need some RCSs. Of course, we need to put thrusters on. Yeah, I can hear you. And we'll put the. I think the armor locker is 2 blocks. Yeah. So I'm just going to drop the armor locker in there. I mean, the armor locker is purely so that I can put on some fences. And oops, I want that. Come on. I think we're going to put. It's going to be a little bit risky, but I think if I put the RCSs on each side like that, and we're just going to. I think we'll put. I think I'd like these as far forward as I can get them. I'm always a bit worried when I'm doing this because if I kind of judder just at the last moment, things will be. Right, so we got that. So what we need now to get these thrusters on, and of course we need the cargo boxes as well. I think we're just going to drop the cargo boxes in on this side. Which I could probably put the cargo boxes there. In fact, I think I will. So I'm going to drop the cargo boxes on like that. Now, of course, we've got to put thrusters on this very, very jury-rigged ship. And I'm going to make sure we put thrusters in on the right side. And one thing I would suggest is that if you're doing this yourself, is don't use the symmetry plane. I know it seems counterintuitive, but what can happen is that if you use the symmetry plane and you make a mistake, like you put a thruster the wrong way round or something like that, what will happen is then you lose 2 thrusters rather than just 1. And maybe we should give it a little bit of protection. As I say, this isn't going to win any awards, not by a long shot. And the other thing I've also done is if I come in here, I've picked up a whole wodge of fuel, and we should still be I want to do is pick that up and pick the constructor up. And we've got some resources in there, but the first thing I want to do is just see if this thing will actually fly. I mean, it's not going to be the best of ships, so we just have a look at it. Yeah, manage the fuel. And of course, we're going to put half the fuel in. It's not exactly. And power. And we've now got, just adjust it back a little bit so we can see, because of course we need the tab key up. And we are no mobile. As I say, I've got no weapons or anything like that, so it's a little bit sensitive, but it's going to be okay. As I say, it's not going to win any awards, but it should do the job. Look a bit naked without having armor on. And I'm just going to grab some of this. Like that. And of course the neck, having the cockpit stuck straight out the front there. And what I need to do now is devices. We're just going to sort the group out, and constructor, and I need to access it. And you can be cargo box 1, you're point 1, and of course the next thing I need to do is get back to my base. I need to pick up some simple supplies so that I can build the fridge. Where's the base gone? I keep losing the base at the moment. Oh, the other thing I also did is, if any of you watched the previous video, you'll be aware that there's a lot less trees around here, because I had a really good bash through and took out some trees. And this thing flies pretty terrible. But it will do the job. Oh, and here comes the... That's another problem I've had here. I've had a load of spiders hanging around in here. And what I want is about 40 of those. Half of that. Half of iron. Oh, cut it out. Get into here, put this in. Definitely going off this place as a base, to be honest. And what we should be able to do now, if I go to the small constructor, one thing I want is a... Where is it here? Nanotubes. We need carbon substrate. Have a quick look here. Okay, we're going to have to take some rocks out and put some of those in. And then what we should be able to do is access the small constructor. And why can't I make nanotubes? Oh, I need rock. Oh, great. Yeah, we just drop back here. Keep forgetting that you need stone. I'll be really glad once I've got some container extensions. Let's just do this on the outside. Should be able to do now is I'm going to make sure you build the right one. That's a base one. This is an SV one. We should now be able to make that templates, and so we should now have the ability. Now the next thing I would really like to make is armor. I can't remember if I've actually unlocked the armor. Unlocked the armor? Where's the armor? Under weapons, isn't it? I've got the light armor. It says small constructor. Why can't I make it? I thought I could make armor in the small constructor. Oh, don't tell me I can't make it. be under weapons, wouldn't it? Oh, there it is. And of course, the next thing I want is the armor. Oh, I was a bit worried about that. And I'm not sure why I'm running fuel at the moment. Set the thrusters off. I mean, we don't have a lot of fuel, so. Pilot the whole vehicle, yeah. Some of those, and my stakes are starting to run out. Now, if you saw there, I didn't have the stakes stacked, and the reason for that is that was an old stake. These are new stakes. And what we should now have is, if I get a carbon box 1, and yeah, stop making horrible noises. Drop that in there now. Check in here because I've had quite a lot of spoilage at the moment, and we're probably going to kill plenty of spiders and stuff anyway. What we're going to do now? What we're going to do now? Oops, logistics. I can remember. I haven't got wireless capability, which is a pain. Right, now get that in there. That means now I've got the ability to keep my food fresh. Hopefully the armor will be ready. Okay, why haven't you made the armor? Yeah, it says the armor's made. I was just being impatient. Right. And what we're going to have to do is go around the back here. Click the armor locker. And we're just going to drop the armor on. And we are in business. So we've now got armor. We've got a ship we can travel with. And I need to put the thrusters on before I drift away. And now it's time to get out and do a bit of exploring. Wow. As I say, this isn't going to win any awards, but I just want to get out because my next big objective is to find promethium. But we're going to pick up some food and berries on the way through as well. Grab that. I'm not going to be trying to pick any fights or anything just at the moment. Actually, can I? Oh look, there's the boys. I need some food supplies, don't I? Okay. Hello boys. And I also need the XP. Oops. Whoops, I'm panicking a little bit. Oops. Right, I've now reached level 6. I can pick that up. And I'm just going to jump straight in and throw that to the bridge. And I'm just going to get out, get mobile. Actually, the other thing I do want, I can't even remember if I've actually unlocked it actually. Ooh. Ah, it's unlocked anyway. And just get back into here. And devices, I mean, it's nice having the better constructor. Let's knock out a chainsaw. The chainsaw is going to speed up the process of gathering the wood. So we're going to be doing a lot of jumping in and out of ships actually. Where are we going to go? Golden rule. Yeah, we're going in the right direction, so we're just going to Keep going west, I think. Actually, can I get a scanner? That's a point. I haven't put a scanner on yet as well. Let me just have a quick look. I unlocked the scanner. Oh, yeah, detector. Scanner's actually on the small vessel. So, back again. So, yeah, we'll just knock out one of those as well. Right, found some small wreckage. That's going to be really great. Oh, what have we got over there? We got some more. Just grab everything we can. And this is all XP, so. And during these initial run round sessions like this, I must admit I actually like staying in third person. It gives you a wider visibility, and then we get attacked. Wait. Reload. Really do with some spices or something. There's some fiber there. Oops. Reload again. Gotcha. Really cooking now. Really nice to have some armor. Jump back into there. Of course, we're gonna do the transfer into the fridge immediately. Actually, yes, book out some of that stuff. And oh, we're actually traveling across the surface here. Right, let's just get to the small. Actually, just have some more fiber. Hopefully, we're going to find some good stuff here on this. I mean, some advanced medication would be quite useful. Multi-tool, yeah. That's as good. That saves me having to make it, because at the moment it is absolutely useless because I don't have any power cells or promethium to make the multi-tool units. Okay, I'm just going to grab some of these. That's silicon. Just grab the silicon. Silicon's the one resource that could be restrictive at the moment, so we want to grab as much of that as possible. Okay, just keep shoving this stuff into the fridge. I think I'm going to put a little bit of stone in the fridge as well. That could be useful. In fact, what I'm going to do is, right, we've got the detector. Actually, they can come into there. I'll put some of this actually into the output area at the moment. That can go in the output area. And what we're going to do is just tap down here. And just stand on the ship. Now, this detector can be a bit of a pain in the neck, but I'd like to say that that's the reason why I left this slot here, but it was purely accidental. But I think it does fit in there quite well. And we've got lots of stuff around us, yes. The whole area is lit up like a candle. There's a lot of stuff to the west, so that's where we're going to be heading. I would guess that a lot of it is to do with the Talons. It's the Taloner to the west. Of course, we can't really go in there and mine anything. But we're just going to keep going. And got a little bit of a collection here. And actually, I haven't checked the map properly. Let me just get back into here. And we'll just get up over this hill. I mean, I really need some container extensions as well. Actually, can I make them? Small constructor. Can I make the container extensions? Yes, I can. Container controllers. Steel plates, electronics, yes. I think we're going to make 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not sure where I'm going to put them on the ship at the moment. And actually, let me just put this back into the fridge. I don't want any of this to spoil. We'll just knock out one of those. And I'm just going to use this berry juice up. So we're now down on natural sweetener, so we're going to have to be a bit careful from there. And I mean, we will be chopping and changing, rebuilding this ship as we go along. Right, we've got plenty of stuff all around us. I think we're still going to keep going west at the moment because it just makes exploring a lot easier. Say simply because you actually... that's crushed stone. I thought that was silicon. Sorry about that. Yeah, if you keep going west, it just means you can keep operating in the daylight all the time. Just keep going. It says west and south. But we know the Talon is south of us. So maybe if we get through this slightly mountainous area or rough area here. But I really want this promethium. You are now entering Talon territory, right? This is where I find promethium. Well, we might as well visit the Talon just to see what they got. I mean, there's a good chance we'll be attacking them, but not immediately. Because, as I say, the focus of this Let's Play is going to be get to a warp-capable SV and then go, actually, yeah, that's what I was going to look at, wasn't I, Matt? Right, we need the gold reserve to make the EVA. We got quite a few resources at the moment here. We've got 8 promethium to find. I don't know what how's the planetary system look like. We've got that's Estrum Zirconium. We've got an asteroid field there, and we've got neodymium, saphium, and promethium. So that's probably the planet we're going to go to first because the neodymium and saphium is probably more important. And what we will probably need to do is flip through it. We'll certainly probably visit the asteroid field, but that could be a little bit risky in an SV. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Actually, I do need to keep an eye on fuel as well. I'm quite happily cruising across the surface here. Manage. I'm just going to put a bit more fuel in. And I think for the moment, back to here. More constructor. Got to keep punching the fuel out at the moment. I've got to remember that I need to make it. It'd be really embarrassing to run out of fuel in the middle of nowhere. Right, there's some Talon. And of course we can't pick any plants or anything in this area because that upsets them. So we've got mostly grassland. Right, we found a copper deposit which we can't mine, and we found a small outpost. I think we'll stay out in the open terrain at the moment, just so that we can keep going south and west. At the moment, we've got there's a lot of Talon here. I know we're near their small outpost, but right, we found some iron, and of course, finding these deposits. I know I can't mine them, but at the same time, finding them makes a bit of a difference here. And of course we found the monument, so we could do the mission, but I don't really want to be sidetracked by that at the moment. Wow, they've got a big area here. I think we're just going to keep going south and so we can clear these items off the radar. There's the monument, which if we do the mission, we can I was about to say there's some spice there which could be very useful, but of course it's not useful. If I pick it, the Talon will get upset. I'm not going to worry about the mission. I just want to just clear this area away. Right, we're getting into some fairly rough terrain. I don't really want to get involved in that. Got an ancient temple here. I think we can more Talon there. We're just going to keep going south around this bluff. Just going to charge through here. And of course we can't even technically cut trees here, so I don't really want to hang around in this area too long. Yeah, I think killing off these Talon could be quite interesting. You know, kind of skype round here at the moment. And just take advantage of the daylight. And again, I don't really want to go charging out across the lake. In fact, I think maybe the light is just starting to change, so I think maybe it's time to go west again. So that we can stay with the light. West and south, I think. Let's get out of these. Right, we found an unknown artifact. But I've got a feeling that is in the sky, so there's nothing we can do about that. Right, we've got a body of water. And before I get charging across that, just want to check the fuel situation. We're 16%. Let me just... actually... Right, so we're 16%. I'm just going to put that in. Because last thing I want to do is run out of fuel halfway across. Because we can't get... There's a tower-like object over there. I'm just going to fly in that direction. Let's see. And we're outside Talon territory now. Right, we found an alien tower. And we found promethium. Great. It's small, but I'll take it. And iron. Now, this tower, if any of you are new to the game, I would guess is the tower you'd be sent to as part of the initial tutorial. But generally there's nothing in it from a perspective of somebody who's not doing the tutorial. But what we are going to do is head for the promethium. Now, one of the downsides of promethium deposits is they can often be guarded by drones, and we're not really equipped for drones. Actually, this isn't actually in a radioactive area. Okay, well, we'll take this. Only a small deposit, but I'm not gonna turn this down. And what we're gonna, I mean, this is absolutely key. Just turn the thrusters off to try and save a bit of fuel. And of course, we don't really have to do this the hard way. And what you can see again, the difference between mining promethium and other ores is that promethium shows up with these little blue circles, and in order to see them, what you've actually got to have is the ore scanner here, which seems to come as part of the default equipment now, which is pretty good because it used to be a real pain trying to make that scanner. And what we're going to do is just try and get all this out. So we might as well mine out the whole deposit. If it's small, there's not much point in not taking it all. Come on. Right, we've got 45 promethium there. I mean, there's a risk that I might not get, or we may not have the carry capacity for this. I can always put on the advanced containers. I think we'll just knock out this bit here, or these two bits. So, I'm just gonna cancel that, and what I'm gonna do now is just get into devices, and where's the promethium? Oh, I haven't put it in. Okay. Player, and what we got here? Cargo box 1. How much can I get in? Yeah, get 22 in. That should be more than enough for what I want to do at the moment. All constructor. And what we really want is. Oh, we're going to unlock them. Of course, it helps if you actually unlock the multi-tool. We've now got that on there. I mean, we haven't got to level 7, so we can't unlock the drill yet, which is a little bit of a pain. But what we can do now is go in here, and we got 3. I think I can get 3 for every cycle. So if I make 3, and what we'll do is just drop this down to 1. I don't want to throw this away. So we got the thrusters there. Now the question is, where can I put the? Yeah, if we just hook out the. Oh, you lot are annoying me. Yeah, I didn't see them creep up on me. Gotta watch out for the hole. Actually, what we'll do is we'll just lift off, put the thrusters back on. It'd be safer if we're actually up in the air. Yeah, my fail on that part. Right, we've now got that there. Now I could put a container controller on each side and balance the ship. I think probably from the purposes of this hover vehicle, I think what I might do is just put a big central carry capacity on there. But the trouble with that is, if I do that, it won't be balanced. I think from the point of view of here, I think we're going to go. We're going to have to make 2 sets of carry containers, I think. And I think if we put 1 there and 1 on there, and go 1, 2, 3 down there like that. And how much carry capacity does that give me? I'm just gonna zap it up. That gives me 625, which is a lot more than that. Oops. Put this in the fridge, we don't want to waste it. And we got the multi-tool. Actually, the bike can come off and go in there. And we can put that there. So I need another container and 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think if we do that, I can balance the 2 loads. Will make a bit more sense. And what I could do then is move the and then actually, yeah, I think I'll have 2 separate bits, and then what I can do is take out these 2 cargo boxes and put in there. Yeah, I think that will work a little bit better than having 1 big block. I know it's going to mean I'm going to have to balance the loads on each side, but I think for the purposes of this, it should be okay. Right. We've now got the fuel here. What I'm going to do is container controller and vehicle 1. I know this is going to make the ship a little bit lopsided, but that's 483. And while we're here, oops. And so what I need now is what we got. What was it I had on here? Is 4. That's 5, 6. So I need another 8. So if I come to the container controller, right. So if I come in here, constructor, or constructor, I want a container controller. Thank you. Right, I want one of those, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. While that's actually happening, container controller, cargo box 1, And we've got other stuff in here. And what we can do is get this out first and put the other container control. I think that can go there. That can certainly go there because I'm going to need it. And I think we'll put the fuel in the player inventory. Actually, this can go in the player inventory for the moment. And right, we got that can go out. I don't need a torch anymore because I've got a light on my what we call it, my suit, because I've got the suit operational. And what we're going to do is drop that in there, and we're just going to put oops, need to do that 9, one there. Just keep knocking these out as we go along. That's there. Okay, what we're going to do now is just redo the groups again so that I've got the cargo boxes right. The last one on this side, what I'm going to do now is just pick up this, and I'm just going to salvage because I don't really want these container boxes. Yeah, we're just going to salvage this. We only get one steel plate from this, but who cares? And what we're going to do is drop in 1, 2, like that. What we should be able to do now is with the right. We've now got ship supplies, general supplies. And it's gone absolutely dark. Apologies for that. And I've got no light on the ship, so what I'm going to do is just stand here, put the light on. I've got no night vision goggles as well. In fact, I've just noticed the time. I've gone on a lot longer than I originally intended. But I think I've got to where I wanted to do, and that is we've now got, when they're not massive constructors, I mean, we've got 875 on each side, and we've got general supplies 875. Now I have left myself the problem that I'm going to have to balance these two. You can see I've got 3.25 tons in this one and 1.13 tons in this one. So what we're going to have to do is maybe move over some stuff like this. So this is 2.17. So I am going to have to balance the two, but I think it's a price worth paying because it will mean that I've got two storage areas, and as I say, the purpose of this other vehicle is going to be crude, it's going to be simple, because all it's going to do is drive the process of effectively driving the factory to get a small vessel with a warp capability. Because the idea is to get off this planet as fast as possible, and what we will do is then strip this for resources to take with us, and then we'll go off to another planet, and that's where we're effectively going to set up base, and as an operational base, because the next step, once we've got a small operational base, it won't be particularly anything big, because then the idea is we're going to build a capital vessel, and then our capital vessel is going to act as a radar platform to explore the rest of the planets. But I think that's enough for this part, so this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode, hope you found it interesting. I'll mine out the rest of this promethium off camera, so that in the next part we can carry on our exploration of the planet, because I want to open up as much of the planet as possible. I'd like to find a crashed ship, but that's all for the future. So until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.